Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to another episode of Higurashi. We're getting Tawada's backstory, I assume this time. It is confirmed she did kill her boyfriend, like we first saw. Not exactly how we thought. So he was dead from the beginning, where I thought she might have killed him when we went to the storage shed. But still, I was right about her being the killer, or a killer, I guess. Um, and I guess we'll see why she did it. Now, will they like try to justify it? I mean, it's a bad thing to do. It's a bad thing to do for sure. Like 99% of the time, I can definitely see some scenarios where killing your significant other morally, I think is fine. Um, Mainly in like self-defense, I would say. Or if you're like in a super abusive relationship where you just can't get away at all, then maybe. I don't know if that'd be morally, but at least I can understand it. Though Higurashi does teach you. One of the lessons is at least from the main series is always look for another option, especially when it comes to murder. I feel like they taught us that multiple times, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with Tawada. But I assume it'll be something tragic. Let's see if it has anything on Otabe's backstory though. Betrayed you. Most of those are bad reasons to kill. I don't know what unforgivable could. I mean, I don't want to like try to justify killing. I guess everything's almost a bad reason to kill, besides self-defense. But yeah. Oh. Okay, yeah, not justifying it. I think she's actually just evil. I was gonna say Tawada's probably not a psychopath, but maybe she's a psychopath. That's not what I was expecting. Can you like just tell him to go? Oh. Uh-oh. I do not know. Seven years is a long time, man. Tawada-san raised her head and gazed off in the distance. That moment, an image emerged on the back of her eyelid, a little old school building not far from the city center. Hey, we're watching her backstory in her eyelids. It's a good way to explain it. A massive green lawn was visible from the fourth floor of the school building. Our class was in the very last classroom on the far end of the building. I finally got accepted into the college I had been hoping to attend, so everything was looking bright. But things were a bit difficult for me because I was a year younger than my classmates. Also, Tawada is older than I thought she was. So 7 years ago, and it was her first year of university. So she's like, actually, that's not that old. That's like my age. That's actually like my age. Around the time I started. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I mean, I'm old. We're both old, Tawada. Don't feel bad about it. But things were difficult for me because I was a year younger than my classmates. Actually, I guess she might be younger because she got in early somehow. I started to develop an inferiority complex about it, and after enrolling, I spent most of my time alone. Excuse me? Inferiority? Isn't that like... Shouldn't that be opposite? Shouldn't you have like a superiority complex for somehow getting into college a year early? Sounds kind of hype. Takumi! We actually hear his voice. One day, a male classmate spoke for me for the very first time. Yo, he's shooting his shot. Like, literally. No, not literally. I don't know what the literally means. His smooth hair was a bit disheveled. His clothes were a bit sloppy, like he didn't try hard to dress well. That's me. But even though I normally would have found that detail unappealing, it actually gave me a good feeling. He was still quite young and had a youthful look on his face. The thing about him I found most attractive was his eyes. Takumi-kun's eyes sparkled. They seemed to radiate all the enjoyment filling his heart.
そう、ライブ。十和田さん、音楽は好き？うん、少しは。誰のライブなの？俺だよ、俺。
Ooh, he's in a band or a singer.
決まってるじゃん。
What that?
え？俺、バン
Oh,
ドやってんだよ
band,
ね。
yes.
実は曲も自作でさ、なかなかの自信作なんだ。
Nice. Honestly, I was totally shocked. I didn't have any special skills of my own, so for someone to be able to pick up music while studying for school, it felt like he was from a totally different world. Not just a celebrity, but a divine being. He even did his own composition and spoke to people to convince them to attend his concerts. That's not something you can do without a great deal of confidence in your skills. And a person with such unprecedented talent was standing directly in front of me right now. So I was completely starstruck. It was a wonderful thing. Starstruck without even, like, hearing any of his music, man. Just in the first interaction.
な、どうかな。時間があればでいいんだけど。
I was so stunned by the sudden situation that I couldn't find the words. Perhaps due to that, his voice suddenly grew uneasy. After seeing that, I understood. Of course, this guy was putting on a brave face for my sake. Oh, just for me, the one who stuck out in our class. Did I? Sorry, just a quick thing. Quick thing. Okay, no. I thought I misread something, but never mind. Doesn't matter. It just said, like, she spent, she was, like, she finally got into the college she wanted, which made it seem like she tried for a bit, but somehow she's still, like, a year younger than everyone else, so maybe it's just, like, a super hard college she got into, man. As soon as I responded that it was okay, he put on a huge, bright smile. Honestly, he was like a child. But I found that innocence wonderful from the bottom of my heart. Free concert? It's a great way to advertise. Takumi wrapped his little finger around my little finger as he promised that with a beaming smile on his face and then ran out of the classroom. Good old pinky promise. The strongest form of promises. The warmth of his touch still lingered in my little finger. That was maybe the first time in my entire life locking fingers with a boy. My heart was beating fast. And it didn't take much time after that before we got together. Since we were in the same class, we were always together. The two of us went to all sorts of places together every week, and I went to see all his concerts. He, Takumi Kurosawa-kun, was playing the guitar, and I was fortunate enough to have a bunch of fans. Fangirls would come to concerts and stare longingly at Takumi-kun. There were so many girls for Takumi-kun to choose from, and they were always cheering for him. But even so, Takumi-kun's eyes were always on me. I was the one he cherished the most. And that made me so happy, it was a blessing. Major leagues? Like baseball? Or like big time rock band?
メジャー？プロになりたいんだ。無謀ってバカにされるかもしんねえけどさ。俺
Okay, music. I was like, sudden switch to baseball? Indeed, I did think it a bit reckless. Takumi-kun's music was quite wonderful, and he certainly was talented. But going pro was a completely different story. Plenty of talented people put all their passion, expertise, and hard work striving for it, but only a handful of people ever make it onto the stage. And even if that major debut did come to fruition, and he was able to live off of it, there'd still be fierce competition waiting for him every single day. Plus, this isn't the sort of world where you're rewarded simply because you put in a lot of effort. After all, everyone else is working hard too, naturally. Could he really make his dreams come true in this callous, ruthless world?
私よくわかんないけど、プロになるのって大変なんじゃない？
My prediction is he fails, and then he becomes like, he sort of bums off Tawada. Just because the only interaction we have of Takumi before was Tawada talking about going to Hinamizawa for a trip with him, and then he's like, she was kind of nervous about saying that. Probably, now we know that it was probably because she planned to kill him. But he was like, okay, we can go. As long as you, as long as you take your car. I don't know what that means. I mean, maybe he is rich and he just doesn't want to take out his freaking Lamborghini to like the rural countryside, possibly. I don't know. I could be off the mark.
大丈夫なの？まあね。でも、ガキの頃から書き溜めた詩がいっぱいあるからさ。あとはそれに曲つけるだけなんだ。結構自信作なんだぜ。八重もいいって言ってくれただろ？うん。まあ、確かにしばらくはバイトで生活費を稼ぐ生活になると思うけど。八重がそばにいてくれて、音楽だけやって暮らしていけたら、俺は幸せなんだ。他には何にも望まない。だから、頑張れると思うんだ。
I enjoy hearing Takumi-kun talk about his dreams. Somehow, it felt different from anyone else. He wasn't swayed by the whims of the world. Takumi-kun had his own values, and he decided for himself how he wanted to live. I was confident that he would be able to manage. He's Takumi-kun. Surely he'll be able to make his dreams come true. At least I thought so. Surely. Takumi-kun's eyes glittered and sparkled anytime he told me about his future ambitions. If we ever move in together, I want to get a dashund. Excuse me? What do you say to my face? What's a dashund? Dachshund? It's obviously some European thing. The dachshund? Oh, it's a dog breed. Oh my god, it's that. Is this the. It's the wiener dog. Look at that little thing. Okay. Wiener dog enjoyer. I like to live near a big park and try doing the radio exercises together every morning, even as we grow old. I want to play a concert at the Budokan and propose to you right after finishing my best song. He was just seriously considering these things, laughing like a child all the while. Oh man, his dreams are gonna get crushed, man. I'm feeling it's gonna go that way. But despite that, I was feeling the opposite. I was quite anxious. If he really does make a big hit and becomes a celebrity, he'll be surrounded by fans and other stars. If that were to happen, would Takumi-kun's feelings for me stay the same? I believe that he loves me very much right now, But as his position changes, his perspective will change, and his values along with it. When that happens, will I be able to follow him? Or will he leave me behind? That dreadful future haunted my thoughts, sometimes even my dreams. And so, there came a day when I asked him about it. It's kind of a weird thing to ask, but it's a real concern, I feel. I don't know any examples, but I can see like a world where someone becomes famous and dumps their significant other pre-famous to be with another famous person or something. At least that happens in stories a lot. Or a couple of stories I've read, I think. Oh my god. I hate that question. Why would you do that? Choose your favorite thing in the world and your significant other. I mean, to be fair, she's just your girlfriend. Like, if it's your wife asking you, probably should just say your wife. And probably, like, there's a very good chance it could just be your wife. But if it's just a girlfriend, and to be fair, dating a while, not 7 years yet, I assume, but it's just like a really weird question to ask. But just to be on the safe side, especially if you care about the person, probably just say the person. But that's my reaction. It's such a weird question. But I understand her fears. It's understandable. That was a lie, of course. It truly was a ridiculous, nonsensical question. But Takumi smiled like usual, and without hesitation he gave me an answer with a serious look on his face. But even if the world would be ending, I would still be playing my guitar. No, I don't know. Oh, based. Okay.
当然だろ。音楽はなくても生きていけるけど、八重のいない生活は正直想像したくもないからさ。匠くん。
I was elated. He wasn't just saying that. It felt like he truly meant it. I was deeply moved. I always felt warm and happy when I was with Takumi-kun. Just being around him made me feel at ease. Bidel! Bidel! L word. Bidel sounds like not great. So lovey-dovey. I started to speak, but Takumi-kun kissed me. Every single day was packed with that sweet sentiment. Those 4 years were absolutely delightful. Okay, 4 years in. It's a pretty long time still. I graduated from college and got a job doing clerical work for a small trading company. It was a company I never heard of, and it didn't have very many employees, but the company was doing solid business. Takumi-kun, on the other hand, couldn't find a job anywhere. Naturally, he's always say he was chasing his dream. Takumi-kun's life hadn't changed much since college days. He sincerely wanted to concentrate all his strength on his music career. His life wasn't all that different. Just the time he spent in lectures was replaced with a part-time job. The band members' faces didn't change either. Just like our college days, I attended Takumi-kun's concerts every week. So our relationship never really settled down. Before long, several years has passed. Okay. The people around us started getting married and skipping the band to take care of their kids. Reasonable. Takumi-kun's band members started giving up on the band one after another. All my friends around the same age got their got their dose of reality and started walking through life with their feet on the ground. I mean, it must be rough for him, who he's been earnestly chasing his dreams, and slowly it's becoming impossible if everyone's quitting, unless he finds like a new band
大丈夫だ
members.
よ。
Can emphasize with that again, like Ye said. Becoming a music star, or at least making a decent living out of it, even is like it's pretty hard.
ここんとこバイトが忙しくて、あんま寝てないんだ。
Although Takumi couldn't said as much, I could tell he was feeling irritated. He was having trouble replacing missing band members recently, and he was struggling to find the money to open a studio or put on any concerts. You need money to put on. I guess you need like initial money to get in the concert or put on a concert and then get try to make a profit off ticket sales. No, maybe I was the one getting impatient. Our love hadn't changed much since the old days, but honestly, I was starting to worry if we could really keep things the way they were. I mean, whenever I talked to him, my anxiety about the future still gnawed at my heart, smoldering like an old flame.
悪い。お前に心配かけてごめんな。今はこんなだけど、きっともうすぐ盛り返せる。いや、してみせるさ。実はレコード会社のプロデューサーがこの前会いたいって言ってくれて。
Don't snap on him. No snap. No snap. Okay, I did. I was feeling a snap coming. Takumi-kun seemed so happy when he was talking about things back then. But I was only half listening to him. Because I already heard the story many times before, he said it all the time. I didn't mean to make you worry. Something about those words felt out of place. Because, unlike in the past, something started to feel cold deep inside my heart. Honestly, I may not have been worried that Takumi-kun was feeling down. Maybe somewhere deep down, I was trying to use his lethargy as an excuse to tell him to set aside his dreams and live a steady lifestyle. Our college friends were getting ready to buy condos, build houses, and starting to have children. And the feeling that it's not so easy to make your dreams come true was finally starting to sink in. Takumi-kun probably felt the same way. So one day, I came back from work. Oh no, the talk. He's gonna get pissed. Oh, no. Okay, not pissed. But he's just trying to mooch off Toada, man. I was kind of right. I was the one to suggest it, but the suggestion wasn't born from kindness or love. By just being a little closer to him, I could set aside my helpless impatience, my frustrations, my anxiety about the future. I could fill all the holes in my heart. This is a great idea if you're not living with each other or living with someone else. And it's gonna come off to Takumi as she's such a caring girlfriend,
いいのか。
helping him with his dream.
それって八重、お前の。いいの。私がそうしたいだけなんだから。八重。
Takumi didn't answer right away. That seemed natural. Regardless of how I felt about it, I'd be formally agreeing to cover part of his expenses, no, perhaps almost all of them. But I had already decided, and I was fine with it. 私なら目指すどころか思い立つこともできないすごい才能がある。だから私は応援したいの。私一人では絶対見ることのできない世界。あなたのそばで少しでも一緒に見ることができたらダメかな。Tawada's weird, man, because she feels like sincere, but her inner thoughts is weird. I don't know how to think it. Like, she cares, but I feel like a lot of this relationship is also just about self-fulfillment with Takumi, who she admires because he's kind of like the opposite of her, where she's like more anxious and wants a more steady life, while Takumi's kind of ambitious and maybe even foolish. So it's like kind of a person she can't be, and she feels comfort in the type of person Takumi is. It's just like interesting because if you read like the without her thoughts, she comes off as like a completely different person. And again, I still think she like likes Takumi a lot. I just think it's
ダメだなんて。
she's calculating a
でも、
bit. Not in a bad way though.
きっとかな。
You know what I'm saying.
大丈夫だよ。私だけは信じてる。だから、匠くんのことも信じさせて。あなたが今見ている素敵な夢の世界を。
いや、
Yay. Punched in the face. Then Takumi-kun hugged me so tight that it hurt, and cried just a little. Despite the pain in my arms, despite the burning of those teardrops, I felt happy. Yes, I truly did feel happy. And the guilt of the cold, sinful emotions I had begun to embrace just felt a little bit lighter. And then we started living together. There were all sorts of problems that came from the two of us living together, and it was more difficult than I thought, but that was all blown away by the tremendous joy I got out of it. Really, amazingly so. Looking back on it, I was like a child. Still, Takumi-kun was always so kind. On paydays, he would always bring home my favorite cake. He was happy to help out with cooking and laundry. When I came home tired after a tedious day at work, he'd listen to my stories and comfort me, encourage me. Just remembering those days brings a tear to my eye. We were so full of love. Those days were irreplaceable. What happened, dude? I'm scared. I think something must have broke his motivation or his spirit to become a band member or a music star. Something. I don't know what could have though. Really, there's no mistaking that. It was a fact.
俺、八重に迷惑はかけたくないからさ。お互い不満があったらちゃんと口に出して言おうな。うん。八重、俺がメジャーデビューした時、きっと隣にいてくれるよ
Surely. I wonder, like, maybe he does make it. Because, like, for me, it feels like it's setting up him failing. But if he does make it and he does put his music before Ye, or at least Ye feels that way, then like it's kind of setting that up too, though, low key, like a little sneaky reversal. But you can't sneak anything past me. Though I still think she's gonna fail. We'll see.
当然でしょ。
Well, of course? Question mark.
私が匠くんのファン第一号なんだからね。
Every time I said that, a dull pain coursed through my chest. I responded that way automatically, but another part of myself was gradually beginning to feel otherwise. I get it too, man. I get it. It must be hard for Ye, who's financially supporting a significant other, who like may or may not just be wasting his time. Wasting as in like career stuff, not like wasting his time, because I'm sure he's feeling fulfilled from practicing and playing music, but you know, like money. He's wasting his money stuff. The other me watched Takumi-kun with cold eyes as he continued dreaming of making his major debut. I hated that part of myself. So I carefully chose my words to hide it.
私応援してるもん。
Surely you'll make it, buddy.
夢を追ってる匠くんのこと応援してるよ。だって匠くんのこと大好きだもん。
See? Calculating. Not in a bad way, too. And then I do feel like it's self thing, too. But she's like locked into this
八重が
relationship.
信じてくれているから。
At least she's keeping herself locked in. I don't feel like Takumi's like a bad person at all. He's just very naive. But her not like, because obviously she wants Takumi to settle down, but her not like wanting to do that, like I feel like it's just aging him on, right? Because I feel like Takumi is the kind of guy who would like actually like, you know, he might get mad, but he might actually like give up his dreams and start a career path maybe beneficial to help paying for living expenses, because he really does seem to like Ye, like love Ye a lot.
俺がいるから頑張れる。
Yeah, I feel like this is just like I don't know, man.
八重いつもありがとう
I can feel it coming crashing down.
愛してる
If there's one small regret that's still inside me now, it's that I wish I had believed him in more. Believed in him more. That's not what I was expecting her to say. Because I don't know if believing in him more matters too much if he believed that you believed in him. In him, in our love, in myself. Love and dreams were all we had, but I didn't need anything to be more happy. If I could have gone on living, bathed in that warm fantasy, treasuring that precious, gentle time, maybe this outcome wouldn't have transpired. They're really blackballing on us on this, man. That's it. Go back to the flashback. Arakawa, look back in her eyelids, please. One of the light bulbs burned out in this dimly lit assembly hall. Tawada-san briefly paused to start to gently gaze at Kurosawa's face. When I glanced at my watch, the time was now 3 a.m. Witching hour. Watch out, this is where ghost Ritas come out the most. Keep your eyes peeled. What could have possibly happened? I feel like he failed and became a former shell of himself, and the thing Tawada seemed to be so attracted to him was his, while it annoyed her, it was her belief in his talent and his ever dreaming self. And if he loses that, then maybe Tawada thinks he's like dead inside, and maybe it's better to kill him so he doesn't have to suffer not being a music star, is what I'm thinking. Which is like a horrible reason to kill someone, I think. It's kind of interesting because we're watching Boogie Pop and Others right now on the anime react section of the channel, and the current arc is going through a very similar thing. Though maybe I'll talk about it if this actually happens. About like the question of if you should kill someone whose future is bleak and them living will not result in them being happy. So is it better just to like kill someone if they have like no future and they're just in constant pain? Kind of like an Otobe situation more, I would say. I don't know. It's an interesting question. I think general consensus is no. It's morally wrong, but I feel like there's probably some arguments that could be said. Anyways, Takumi changed. Tawada-san shook her head self-derisively. Popular failed. Popular failed. Uh-oh. not. I don't think he became popular. The super sad music, man. I hate this song, but by hate I mean I love it. It's sad. Now it didn't hit. It didn't hit as hard as that song from Mina Guroshi. Though to be fair, I don't think that song will hit as hard anymore. It just hit hard for like a long time. It's a PTSD from the Takano scene, but this song it just like when it turns on, you just feel sad, man. Anyways, one day I came home from work to find Takumi-kun skipping work and drinking alcohol. The pressure's finally got to him, man. Maybe he's finally realized that he's not gonna become a music star. I saw this coming, dude. Just to drink? He spoke like he was flinging the words at me. Of course, there's no reason for him to suddenly take a day off. It is good to get a little time off, but he didn't have the vacation time to spare. Then something clearly is wrong. I was rather tired after work that evening, but I wanted Takumi-kun to feel better, so I ran to the supermarket to prepare a feast. And prepared a feast. But Takumi-kun didn't say another word. I wondered what happened, but in the end he never told me. Oh man, did someone give him like a reality check, or like what happened, man? Even though just a few weeks earlier he would have grumbled out a few complaints, about what was bothering him, and then he would have cheered up at least a little once he got it off his chest.
俺八重に迷惑はかけたくないからさ、お互い不満があったらちゃんと口に出して言おうな。
The words he said earlier came back to me. That was the first time Takumi-kun ever broke a promise to me. Did you talk to him about you being unhappy? I guess he's not really in a talking mood, but I feel like you should initiate the conversation. Takumi-kun didn't go to his part-time job the next day or the day after. With Takumi-kun not working, he couldn't pay the monthly rent, so I paid it in his place. After that day, I made every rent payment for myself. Okay, this is the point where, like, no matter how much you love this person, if you like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just your boyfriend. It's a long-term boyfriend, though. They really should talk. You should talk about this stuff first, but I feel like at this point, if they're just bumming off without trying to help at all, then maybe, like, toss them. But I know that's the reasonable thing to do, but I do think, especially for a long-term relationship, and again, I don't really have experience in this, but in just my opinion, like, if you've lasted this long, you probably shouldn't throw it away, even though it is a good time to throw it away. Should definitely try to communicate more. Try to savor it more, I think. Takumi-kun never said anything about it. He didn't say anything. And this is my, like, not to get too personal, but, I mentioned it before in my earlier Higurashi stuff. I think probably in Sumi Horoboshi. I am, like, or my parents are divorced. And the Rena bachelor, like, really hit hard. Because obviously I didn't go through the same thing as Rena, and it wasn't that messy of a divorce, but I still have, like, kind of stronger feelings, and nothing against my parents or anything. But I do think you should, like, breaking up should be the last thing if you truly value the relationship, which I think both of them did do. Unless it's, like, abusive or something, but that's not you valuing the relationship truly, anyways. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. I know Takumi-kun's not really responsive, but I feel like Ye needs to, like, sit him down and talk to him straight. And if it doesn't work, then you might have to toss him. Because this is fucked up. I mean, Ye has a good job, I think, but literally just not sustainable. Before long, I started paying the water and electric bills and even covered the cost of our meals. Takumi-kun would wake up around noon to work on his composition and write lyrics. Okay, so he's still working on his music career, but he's not working. That was enough to keep me convinced. I was able to encourage myself to keep working hard. But one day, the song he wrote was so disconnected, I couldn't even bring myself to listen to it. Oh no. It's gonna spiral. To be fair, if it's shit, then I don't know, man. Unfortunately, I let a few words slip out. What is this? It's weird. It's kind of a weird comment, though. It's not, like, completely negative. Weird can be good. Oh no, dude, he's breaking down. To be fair, he seemed pretty broken, and this was, like, his one thing to, like, try to convince himself that he's doing something, and then you kind of just fucked it up. It's not her fault, though, man. It really is just Takumi's fault in general for putting her in such a situation. Man, this is so relatable. Why is the backstory so good? I wouldn't call this Otabe level yet, but it kind of is, actually, just because I can relate to it, kind of, loosely understand it. I never imagined how much that one statement could trample his motivation and self-esteem. As a result, he never wrote any more songs after that. He simply spent all day drinking alcohol. Dude, I feel so sad. With the song too, man. Again, yeah, I think it was like, he knew his life was fucked up, but he wanted to like probably half-heartedly give it a one shot, and once he kind of got confirmation that he's shit from Yay, he's like, okay, fuck that. My life's useless. I don't really know what you can do in this situation. If he refuses to communicate and you put in the effort, I feel like drop him. But it feels like he's in like a really dangerous place, so maybe that's not a good idea. These situations are too hard for me, man. I have no idea. I, on the other hand, spent every day struggling to keep up with my office work. It wasn't fun at all. I smiled even when I didn't want to, around superiors and coworkers, and the stress of communicating with junior colleagues piled up. While I continued living that lifestyle, Takumi-kun was living an easygoing lifestyle more akin to retirement. Is he, though? He seems like super depressed. Like, sure, I guess drinking all day. Definitely the retirement life. But I don't think he's... I know she's painting in this light, and I feel like she definitely has the right to, from what she's going through, but my dude's like seriously depressed, I think. Over time, I gradually started feeling stressed around him too.
ねえ、たくみくん、働かないの？
働くよ。今、ちょっと疲れてんだ。
Babe, I'm tired this month. Give me next month, then I'll start working.
そう。
いろいろ世話になってて悪いな。
And I bet he does actually feel sorry. I bet he feels like shit, and he's like a shit person, but he just can't do anything. And it's a loop.
近いうちに絶対、八重も驚くようないい曲を作ってみせるからさ。
Oh my god. I love this backstory. It's so good.
うん、
What the heck?
いいの。楽しみにしてるから。
The backstories might be the best part of this arc. There's a lot of good stuff though, but I think my favorite parts have been this backstory chapter, man. I was annoyed with myself for saying that's good. I really should have said that's not good at all. And I thought about sharing my honest feelings with him, but I couldn't bring myself to say it. I really feel so he is communicating. The thing is, he is communicating from what we saw. I think Ye is just not pushing him hard enough, like she's saying right now. She needs to push him hard, and I think he would maybe fix himself up, or at least try to. Because he is communicating. He's just like in denial. Sorry, hit my mic. Takumi-kun is doing his best to make his dreams come true, so I have to support him. I have to work harder. I need to be more patient. No, dude. Right, as long as I can endure this. If I love Takumi-kun, I have to endure this. It's all twisted. But it was gradually getting harder to maintain this lifestyle, that much was a fact. More and more, friends were getting married and having children. Even when I spoke with them, it was difficult to maintain a conversation. I couldn't help but envy our friends for having families and happy lives. Another strat I would suggest to Ye is get other people to like confront them about it. Make sure they're good and not just like not like crappy friends who would like tattle on you, but I feel like that's also a good way, having multiple people confront him. And everyone's different. Maybe he would take it really badly, but I kind of believe in Takumi-kun. He's kind of pathetic, but like in a, the dreamer syndrome of wanting to be something you just can't be. Like, I don't know how talented he is, but again, even if, like you said, even if you're talented, it doesn't mean you'll make it in the profession. I just feel sad. So I gradually fell out of touch with those friends and started feeling really lonely. That sucks. If things stayed the way they were with Takumi-kun, having a child would be rather difficult. It took a tremendous amount of work and my entire salary to take care of Takumi-kun, so raising a child on top of that was absolutely impossible. It was heartbreaking. But it must be even more painful for Takumi-kun. I feel that too. I don't know. Maybe I'm like emphasizing with him too much. Maybe he is just, not as pitiful. And he realized, I don't know. It's a weird situation. But I kind of agree with this. I don't know if it's more painful for Takumi-kun because he is going through fucking a lot. But it is definitely also painful for him, I think. Giving him the benefit of the doubt that he's not just mooching and like, because I do think he's depressed. And none of his hard work is ever recognized, and even after doing so much to make his dreams come true, all that struggling only to fail. Oops. He must be tormented by that frustration every single day. So these hardships I'm enduring is no big deal. No, that's not the right mindset. No big deal. Really though? Is Takumi-kun really in that much pain? After all, he spends all day sleeping and lazing about, doesn't he? I think he's in that much pain, but again, he can't really read someone's mind. He's not even writing songs anymore. Also, this is definitely isn't a good reason to kill someone. I don't know. It really is the boogie pop thing, huh? Is it best to like just end someone's life if they have no future at all? His stills have gotten dull. His instruments have fallen out of tune, and now they're collecting dust in the corner of the room, aren't they? How is that difficult? I get that she's lashing out for really good reason. Her life's like kind of fucked right now because of him. How is that painful? And all the while I've been gritting my teeth and doing my best to endure it. Working until my body felt heavy, every single day, at a job that wasn't what I had hoped it would be, all for Takumi-kun's sake? Does Takumi-kun not understand how much I'm suffering? That I think maybe he doesn't understand. I think he understands that he's a burden, but I don't know if he can truly see the whole picture of what he is going through. Does he truly comprehend how desperately I've worked to endure it? It's not normal. It's unfair. Why? Why do I alone need to be patient when Takumi-kun is off doing whatever he likes? How much longer do I have to put up with this? Until tomorrow? The next day? Another year? Or maybe forever? In the meantime, my birthday had arrived. Oh no, he's gonna forget the birthday? Not the birthday, man. My legs felt heavy. Until now, Takumi-kun and I would always go out to eat together, but I couldn't expect that to continue with Takumi-kun not bringing in any income. But I didn't have the heart to invite him out to eat, even to celebrate my own birthday. Still, there was also something unpleasant about needing to head home and prepare dinner on such a special day. In the end, I had to work overtime that day, then went straight home. I'd forgotten it was my birthday, and I'm sure Takumi-kun forgot too. No, I was just pretending to forget.
Tadaima.
Happy birthday! What was that? Oh, I thought he like had one of those like surprise things where you like pull and party poppers. Is that what they're called? But no, he's just in his room. When I came home, Takumi-kun was in his room like usual. But something about him looked different. Oh my god, he's trying to wish her happy birthday. Though I expected him to be laying about, he was sitting nicely in the middle of the room looking straight at me. Takumi-kun looked up with a stagnant look in his eye. It's setting him up to scold her, but I think he's trying to wish her a happy birthday. And he looked a bit drunk, like he'd been drinking here alone. Oh no, wait, it's not a maid. Is he gonna... Oh, no.
すぐ夕飯にするね。
Maybe. I don't know. Hold, hold.
今日は遅かったか
No
ら
predictions,
有り合わ
just
せ
hold.
しか残ってないけど。
八
Uh-oh.
何？
重嘘つくなよ。
Oh my god, yeah. I didn't want to say it. He thinks she's cheating on him. That would definitely break Ye's spirit. Because she's literally dedicating all her time to, like, keep this relationship afloat when it's really, like, rotted to its core. On her fucking birthday, man. It's all fucked up. But yeah, I can imagine Ye's heartbreaking right now. Oh shit, okay. The next moment, Takumi-kun rose to his feet, and Hershey grabbed me by the shoulders.
どうしたの、匠くん。
どうしたもこうしたもねえだろ。なんで俺に嘘つくんだよ。
嘘なんてついてないよ。匠くん、何を言ってるの？
だって今日お前の誕生日じゃんか。
He remembered. So you can't work overtime. He remembered, yes. That realization made me a bit happy. However, when I saw the anger in Takumi's eyes, that cheerful feeling shattered in the blink of an eye.
残業なんて嘘なんだろ。お前今までどこかに行ってたんだろ。
言ってないよ。一体どこに行くっていうの？
お前誰かと会ってたんだろ。俺が金ないからって他の男に祝ってもらってたんだろ。
So fucked up, man.
はあ？そんなはずないじゃない。何言ってるのよ、匠くん。
Pressured by his baseless suspicion, I unconsciously donned a rough tone. Honestly understandable. Me? Eating out with a man besides Takumi-kun? Ridiculous. There must be some misunderstanding. I mean, obviously, it's a misunderstanding, because you didn't do it. Would I have come home in such a melancholy mood if that were the case? Just hearing Takumi-kun say that made me feel miserable. Even though I've been working so hard, I've been patiently enduring all this, all for Takumi-kun's sake. How could he say that to me? She's snapping. Honestly, fair time to snap though. It's really fucked up. And I understand Takumi. I'm just so empathetic with like everyone, dude. I understand Takumi-kun. Again, I think he knows, even though I don't think Tawada realizes, he knows he's a burden to her, and he feels bad about it, but he's in like this endless despair loop. And obviously he would be suspicious about losing Ye, since he probably feels like he's just a shit. Just a useless, shitty person. So I understand where he's coming from. Obviously he's not in the right. But damn, dude. Why am I blessed with such empathy?
匠くんこそどうなのよ。
No more. No more. I can't take anymore.
なんだよ。どうって。
Do something with your life, dude.
ねえ、匠くん。
You're like in your late 20s or mid 20s. You have so much of your life ahead of you. I assume. Or even if you're like early 30s, it's still like a lot of life. You can still like find something in life. If you just gotta move forward.
私の友達が匠くんのことなんて言ってるか。
You're an embarrassment. And that, all this is, I don't even think this will wake him up. I mean, it might for some people. I think it's gonna make him even more depressed.
匠くん、暇って言われてるんだよ。
I mean, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. But now he's gonna be super depressed because he knows it's true deep inside. And that's why he's even suspicious of Ye. And I feel bad for him, even though it's his fault. Oh my god, man. I love the bad stories. The expression in Takumi-kun's eyes changed. I finally calmed down after saying that and immediately came to regret it. Good lord. Did I actually say that? It needed to be said, though. It needed to be said earlier, because you're deep in the leech phase of the relationship, and you need to just talk about stuff. You can't just keep it bottled up and thinking and like maintaining the relationship without confronting anything. Because it ends up like this, where it's rotting, and now when you actually do confront, it's enough to like break it. God, I feel I feel prolific right now.
お前俺のことそんな風に見てたのかよ。
He,
私じゃなくて
she did say my friend. Tormented by guilt, I turned away to avoid looking Takumi-kun in the eyes. Right then, I felt a violent impact on my cheek. We're getting physical. It's never good. It was only after I stumbled back into the wall that I realized Takumi-kun had slapped me on the cheek. Very shitty thing to do. Again, it's just purely out of emotion, because I do think he's super despair mode right now. Kind of similar with Rena's dad, when Rena slapped or when Rena's dad slapped Rena after she was like praising the guy that was the mother was cheating on with, and it was, you know, obviously he didn't mean to do it, but can't really control yourself. I get that. I mean, I've never done it or it happened to me, but I understand. Does I remember? I've watched some Higurashi playthroughs where people commented on this scene, like, "Oh, I was totally with you, Rena's dad, but when you slapped Rena, it's all fucked up." And I'm like, sure, but like, you can't like, it's never okay to hit a child, but you can't understand why he did it. It's not a good reason. It's just pure emotion. I don't know. Again, super empathetic towards every single character. It is what it is. Besides Otonogi. Fuck, no, I'm joking. I love Otonogi too. I actually just love every character. Even Komeda. Everyone hates Komeda besides me. I'm literally the only Komeda enjoyer in all of the Canadian Higurashi fandom. Probably. For the first time ever. First time slapped. Takumi couldn't hit me for the very first time. Not clickbait.
ああ、悪かったな。そうやってお前、前から
See, look at him. He's in full despair mode. I'm sure he's gonna apologize. Not say, which isn't good. But I don't think it's like being a serial abuser. If it does turn out that way, then it's not really excusable like I was thinking initially. If it turns into a pattern, but yeah.
知ってるよ、そんな噂。
Yeah, obviously Tatsumi-kun knew. He knew.
この
He
近
knew
所のママ友もそんなこと言ってたしな。
he's not a good person. Or has been a good person for a while.
お前なんかに言われなくたって知ってんだよ。
I understand him too. Because he knows he's being confronted by probably the only person who cares about him. But I mean, maybe that's wrong to say, but actively cares about him. I mean, maybe his parents, but like, you know, in his life, supporting him this way and being told by someone like he probably cares about a lot too is way too hard to
お
handle.
前の顔にもちゃんとそう書いてあるしな。
Man, it's literally Buddy Pop. I'm really surprised. We're the Buddy Pop dilemma. Then Tatsumi-kun grabbed me by the hair and tossed me to the... Okay. Now maybe this is a little much. It might be a little too much. Oh god. Just as I started suffocating, I came to realize this was reality. And my field of view darkened over into the spine-chilling fear and despair.
俺のこと、俺の夢見守るとか言いながら、俺のことずっと見下してたんだろ。
Oh, all his insecurities coming out.
どうせ俺は社会のクズだよ。
What? It's so bad, dude. Just still
俺
empathize
と
with
ど
him
うせ
though.
違うよ。
Good voice acting. Have you done a voice actor check on Tatumi? Real fast. He's putting on a performance. Damn it, don't show me art. Oh, whatever. It doesn't matter. Where's Takumi? What the heck? Who are you? Who are you? Hold on. Am I stalling a little bit because it's a great scene? Gotta compose yourself for a bit. Uh, Takumi. Tat. Excuse me. Higurashi. Why is VNDB? Oh my god, he has a picture? Wait, what is... Oh no, this is High School DxD? Takumi Kurosawa. He has a picture. Can I get a voice actor check? Oh, first appearance, Japanese voice actor, Akira Ishida. Ooh, ooh, ooh. My anime list? What has he done? Toji from 3-Gate Lion? We'll be fast. Anyone like I know though? I mean, I know Toji, but I don't remember his voice acting performance at all. Very big repertoire, by the way. Holy shit. Alright, look for bid roles that I know. Or at least I care about. He was in the Bleach movie too? He's Dara? It's Dara from Naruto? It's a pretty big role. Does it sound like Gara to you? I kind of don't remember Gara. Gara is like super monotone, right? Byakuya from Danganronpa? Danganronpa. Pretty big. That was like a cocky voice too. Takumi-kun's not really cocky in his cadence. He's Kaura from Nagisa Kaoru from Evangelion. I haven't watched it, forgive me. He's Zeref from Fairy Tail, aka the worst shonen series ever. He's Ryunosuke from Fate Zero. That's probably where I'm getting the similar vibes from, honestly. His Ryunosuke performance was really good, in my opinion. I think I can actually like imagine it, kind of. Man, they really got a heavy hitter. Kotaru from Gintama. Sven's definitely talented. I'm already in the. I'm just strolling. Hold, I'm strolling. I don't want to miss anything else cool, but I do want to move on. He's Akaza from Demon Slayer. Yunan from Magi. Who's Yunan again? Ah, that guy. Okay. Zala from Gundam Seed Destiny? The only Gundam Seed I fully watched as a kid. Right, the rival guy. Based? Shunchi. Oh, he's Shunchi from Natsume. An anime reacted to the channel. Season 2 reaction. Gonna come soon-ish. Probably like next year. Early next year. He's the main protagonist from Persona 3. Multi-talented. Yeah, he's I don't know who that is. Don't care. Zelos. Who? Okay, that's enough. He's a big hitter, and it shows through his performance.
俺がいると優越感に浸ら
Again,
れるから
very
いいじゃない
bad,
だろう。
taking out all his frustrations, but he really That one sentence really did break him. Not justifiable, but I understand why it's happening. That's a great way to put it. I don't want to make it seem like I feel like this is okay. I just understand why he's doing it.
そんな
My girl's dying? I had never seen Tatsumi-kun like that before. I couldn't believe it. Tatsumi-kun was always so kind, so to hear him use such foul language and to get violent with me was incredibly shocking.
この野郎
Oh my god.
やめて
This is actually hard to listen to. What the fuck?
バカにしやがってなあ
What the fuck? What happened? My blood. How much time has passed after that? That's probably like the worst like beatdown I've seen in a visual novel. That or like it's a really weird reference, but actually I shouldn't say it. I'm not gonna be judged, so I won't say it. But there's this one visual, if you know it, you know it. There's one visual novel where you had to knock out a person or another person would die. And then like they just showed an animated scene of you just beating the shit out of this girl so you can save the other girl. And it was like very visceral because it's animated and you just see yourself fists like just pounding on her face, getting swollen. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? This is like, now I don't think the sound design or the emotional value was as bad of just watching it and it being like kind of disturbing, but this is also like, this is like hits harder in a different way where you don't see anything visually. The sounds and the context behind it is very good. Before I knew it, I had fallen unconscious, and when I opened my eyes, Takumi-kun was there. Oh, you awake? Time for round 2? No, I'm joking. I'm sorry.
いや
Yeah.
ごめんごめん
He really did lose control. And now he's an alcoholic, you know. It's just common signs. That was his breaking point. I wouldn't be surprised if it actually happened again and again. And it's not like Rena's dad where it's just... It was his breaking point too, but he can control it because he's a decent person. Because Rena's dad... The difference between Takumi and Rena's dad is... Rena's dad's actually just a good person. And the mother was shitty. Takumi-kun is... Maybe like deep down he's a good person, but right now he's not. So... Different people... When people break emotionally, it also depends on their character, right? And Takumi's character is pretty shitty, so... Bro, and it's not like a simple slap, dude. My dude, like, beat her until she was unconscious. Like, serious ground and pound. As I laid there motionless, Takumi-kun looked toward me with the usual shine in his eyes.
匠
Please don't press charges.
俺は
Takumi-kun seemed even more shocked than me that he resorted to
ご
violence.
めんいやごめん
This is just a sad story, man. This just feels like... I can't imagine this happening in like a real relationship, which is what makes it like hit so hard.
俺とんでもないことを
Okay, don't... Why are you using the HUD? The HUD sound is the same as the choking sound. I would say that was on purpose as an artistic choice. On how representing that he's still choking the relationship. Because this is priming Ye to forgive him. But also, like, let's be honest, the consort sound effects have just been goofy, so I don't think it's actually a directorial choice. I think they're just goofy.
ごめんな怪我させて俺バカだ
True.
ごめんごめん
Now, the only path of redemption, and you know, can you really redeem yourself? Yeah, I wouldn't blame Ye for pressing charges. But if he really wanted to redeem himself, he would get a job. And just like fix his life now. Now seeing what his lowest low could do. This is a time to realize. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Takumi pressed an ice pack against my swollen red cheek with tears in his eyes.
ごめんな。ごめんな。私こそつまんないこと言ってごめん。
You shouldn't reinforce it though. But I get it. Kinda. Takumi was crying as he hugged me. And I cried too, clinging to Takumi-kun. And then I was held in his arms. I had a thought. Was this really the person I fell in love with?
匠君。
Oh, man. But I was scared to admit that Takumi-kun had changed. I just wanted to forget everything, and I kept crying. That day was the beginning of hell. Uh-oh. That's why she was so nervous to ask him to, go to Hinami's eye. Okay, that's... yeah. It's doomed, man. It's doomed. From then on, Takumi-kun resorted to violence at every opportunity. He's just rotted as a person. And he wasn't always bad, dude. It's just life circumstances, his own choices. I'm not blaming Ye at all for being beat, but, you know, Ye never confronting about him as he, like, degraded. And then he just turned into a super shitty person. And again, a lot of it is his fault. Some of it is society's fault. Some of it is Ye's fault. But, yeah.
機嫌が悪いときは私の箸の持ち方が悪い。ただいまという声が小さい。
Definitely should have just I'm not saying, you know, it's just if you're being abused, just leave, because obviously it's hard. But I feel like at that point, maybe you should have just not like when, like after that, probably should have just broke it off. During like when he's now just abusive, obviously it's harder to just leave. Jesus.
私、入院までしたことがあるんですよ。あの日は急な残業があった日だった。珍しく匠くんが夕ご飯を作ってくれることになっていて、でも結局家に帰れたのは午後11時。帰った途端ひっぱたかれて、そしてその後ずっと。
It was hard to imagine someone as calm and earnest as Tawada-san living a life like that. Is it earnesty? I don't know. Like, again, I'm trying to like talk without like making it seem like I'm blaming her, because I'm not, even though she does have some fault in it. But like, I just like wish she's just not a good communicator. I get that. I'm not either, but yeah, anyways, it doesn't matter. Tawada-san smiled a bit as she told her story, but it looked painful. See, this is what I was gonna say. I said at the beginning of the episode, what could I'd feel like might be morally right to be killing your significant other, and I said in self-defense if it was like a super abusive relationship and your life was potentially at risk. And this is the exact situation. So Tawada kind of gets a pass, even though there are a lot of steps in the relationship where she could have avoided this. This is the very few occasions that I can see killing is, you know, still not morally right, because, you know, morals are different, but I understand it, and I'm kind of fine with it more, kinda.
一度二度と続くとだんだん歯止めが効かなくなってくるのかな。自分でもどうしたらいいかわからなかった。どっちが悪いのかすら考える余裕がなかった。それにその時のことはちょっとした騒ぎになって。
Rumors were going around that Tawada was going through a rough patch in her personal life. It's definitely one way to phrase that. And rumors spread in the neighborhood that she was supporting a man leading a hopeless lifestyle, which made it harder to do things around the neighborhood. Okay. How about, where's the rumors that the man was beating the shit out of her? Why is it like negative rumors about her? Kind of.
何が楽しかったのか、それすらもうわからなくなっていました。
僕なら逃げてます。
Classic ultimate. Also, this is the just run, just leave me. But also, it's kind of funny coming from ultimate, who just runs away from anything. Actually, to be fair, you know, we say that, but he was ready to give his life up. But still.
そんな人、僕なら別れてます。
Yes, but he is being reasonable. Break up earlier. If you couldn't save it, and especially after the first beating, just break it up, man. You can say, I forgive you, I understand, the situation's shitty. You know, you should, but we can't maintain this relationship after you cross the line. Not like forgive him completely. Not force a sweet smile. I think that's the time where it's like super rotted. Fucking maggots are eating from the corpse of the relationship, and that's when you just have to give up. Despite that, I think I still loved him. It felt like that was what her smile was trying to convey.
気が済むまで私を殴ると、匠くんは必ず泣きながら
Always
謝る
crying afterwards, huh? Yeah, my dude was just broken, man. He was such a broken person.
そうされると、私は許してし
That
まう。
actually, the endless cycle.
だって、私の心の中には、昔の匠くんの記憶が残っているんだもん。
Takumi's eyes didn't sparkle like before, but his gentle smile was just the same. He no longer focused on his dreams and only ever drank, but those gentle times were still there. He'd greet me in a warm voice, welcome back. He'd say, you must be tired, and gently rub my shoulders. No matter how bad the dishes I cooked turned out, no matter how poorly I seasoned them, he'd eat the whole thing like it was completely delicious. That was the Takumi twin I loved.
私だって苦しかったんです。もう匠くんのそばにいるのはやめようって。家賃も払えない匠くんを放り出すのは忍びないけれど、私にだって私の人生があるはずだし、今目の前にいる匠くんはもう私が愛した昔の匠くんとは違うって。だけどダメだったんです。どうしても昔の匠くんを重ねてしまう。匠くんと一緒にいてももう愛しい昔の思い出を思い出すことしかできないのに。
それでこいつを見捨てるわけにもいかず、どうしたらいいかわかんなくなって殺しちまったってわけだ。
Bruh, I'm sorry, Arakawa, but your backstory looking kind of silly. No, I'm joking. Arakawa's backstory was good. The Otabes and Yays are just crazy, though.
そんなんじゃないです。そんなんじゃ
I think,
ないんです。
yeah, I get what Arakawa was saying. That assumption's decent. But I think it's literally the booty pop thing where Takumi's life is such a mess. He's so fucked up right now, and he won't ever be happy again. Maybe it's better just to end his suffering, and maybe being able to maintain the happy image he has of her, the old Takumi, before it completely fades. Tawada-san racked her brain to squeeze the words out while tightly clenching her chest. A line of tears fell from her eyes.
匠くんはきっと私よりももっと苦しかったんだと思います。
I mean, again, I don't know if it's more painful for him, but it's definitely painful. His life's fucked up too, man. Then she spit that out, the words practically bursting from her chest.
夢に見限られ、友達にも愛想をつかされ、匠くんがすがるべき人間はけれど、私もまた匠くんを切り捨てようとしていた。
Anyways, I think we're gonna end it here. I didn't realize it's been almost an hour and 20 minutes. Good sesh, guys. Good sesh. Next time we'll finish up Tawada's backstory. I feel like Miyuki or Shion's gonna chime in and say some words of truth to this situation. And I don't know, maybe we'll get more backstory. Miyuki, Shion, I don't know what can possibly happen. It is the backstory chapter. It'd be a very long chapter, but yeah, thanks for watching. Awesome backstory. Honestly, I'm surprised it was this good. I didn't think it would be as good as Otabe's, but just judging from the length and how much I've enjoyed it, and did a lot of just commentary on it too, not just reading. Probably shows how much I enjoyed this segment. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.